Let's finish up this Leadersights framework. We've been through dynamic stability, employee satisfaction, just in time, and Jidoka. Now we're going to talk about customer satisfaction, continuous improvement, respect for people. Part 4, finishing the lean house. Our customer outcomes are pretty clear. I mean, we're all customers, right? We've been customers. So the things that are important to us are pretty standard. I mean, we want safety. We want to make sure that the products we buy don't kill ourselves or our families. We want to make sure at work the workers aren't harmed by the things we do. Now, end customers may or may not care too much about that as long as they get their deal. But as a business, if we don't protect our team members, we end up running into a lot of additional excess cost because people won't want to continue to work there for us because we don't care about them. It will be hard to attract new talent. We'll have to pay more money for that new talent. We'll have to pay more money in workman's compensation and insurance premiums and claims. So safety is pretty important for us to consider. So in our lean world, we actually consider safety to be the most important performance metric. Quality is next. People will pay more for higher quality, so the cost comes lower. People will wait longer for a higher quality product, so the delivery is a little bit less. And generally speaking, safety, quality, delivery, cost kind of come in that order. Quality first, then delivery. I want it when I want it. Occasionally I'll sacrifice the cost and the quality, but generally speaking, I'm willing to wait a little bit longer. And of course, this 2-hour delivery and 2-day delivery that Amazon's been doing for the past several years has got us all spoiled now, so we all want things now. Not like when I was growing up and you had to wait 6 to 8 weeks for anything you ordered out of the back of a comic book. Safety, quality, delivery, then cost, then variety. We have to understand that customers don't want the same thing. I mean, Henry Ford had to learn this the hard way. People want custom things now, and customers are getting more and more and more and more finicky or picky or demanding about having something just for them. So you see this switch from mass production systems to mass customization. And how can we provide that customization and still have things right off the shelf where we can deliver them in two days instead of 6 weeks? Service is also critical, and this is something I hear way too many people complaining about today, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic when we had a hard time getting enough workers to actually do the work and satisfy the demand. So people would call, let's say, the airlines, and you would have to wait on hold for 3, 4, 5 hours before you could talk to somebody to help resolve your problem. Anytime we can boost that service level, that is hitting right where the customer sweet spot is. That might be one of the more important things we can measure, because if we have crappy service, it's hard to think that there's a great quality product coming from that. We also see a lot more customers demanding things related to the environmental impact of the product or the materials that you're using. How much excess are you burning to actually produce that? So we are paying attention in the design now to the environmental impact of both the buildings that we're putting in place, the equipment that we're using, the materials that we're using, the processes that we're using, and the amount of waste that comes off those processes, all with this focus on the impact on the environment. And finally, morale. We care whether our people have higher morale. I can't really guarantee that we have proof that people with lower morale are less productive, but there's certainly a correlation. We want people to be happy at work, not because they're more productive, but because happy workers help us improve the work and improve the products. So that morale is tied very much to that satisfaction piece. If somebody's having an off day, as a leader, I'd like to know about it so I can help, maybe provide some resources to help them recover. If they're having some problems at home and they choose to tell us about them, yeah, let's provide some resources to help that person ease that burden some way or another. so that when they do come back to work and they're ready to come back to work, they're as productive and happy and contributing as ever. And it's a win-win for both of us. Okay, it's not just I want you to be happy so I can squeeze more out of you. I want you to be happy because I want everybody in the workplace happy, because that attracts more talent and that creates a better working environment, and that makes just a better place to work. All of this, every one of these elements, from dynamic stability to customer satisfaction, needs to be continuously improved. There's something we can always find to make it a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. So we want to make sure we focus on improving every process by every person in every relationship with everything that we do. Is there a way that we can improve everything throughout this system? And one of the things that's going to help us drive that is respect and trust. There it is. Continuous improvement goes with trust and respect. Trust and respect, you see, is on the blue field. It kind of surrounds the whole system. What do I mean by trust and respect? Earlier we talked about trust. We said clear expectations from both or all parties. Some leader vulnerability, and you can see some bullets there. Respect is one of those things that we talk about, but nobody ever teaches you how to show respect. So one way to really connect with somebody and show that you respect them is to openly recognize their value and the worth that each person brings to the table, even if it's just potential at this point in time. Every human being brings something valuable to the table. Sometimes we have to work to find that right match, but every human being brings something of value to the table. Now, I'm not suggesting that you're not going to have somebody who just doesn't fit in your organization, or you're not going to hire by mistake some sociopath who really can't get along with anybody. But typically, if they get through all those filters and they're working with you, they have some value. We're gonna make sure that we recognize that value and celebrate that value and communicate that value with them. One way to do that is to remember something very specific that they have actually achieved that you or the company benefited from. So you might actually have to get to know people a little bit. We want to build systems that reinforce that respect, whether it's in our pay and benefits system or the way we assign work or the way we rotate things, the way we get employees engaged and listen to suggestions, and the way we present recognition and rewards. So be committed to their development. Know them well enough so that you can tailor your approach to really make the most meaningful relationship with them work. Combined, a lean system ought to give us several benefits. Number one, it's going to create value. And notice I'm going to focus on value instead of eliminating waste. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why in the next section. How's that? Value is more important because we create this, it lasts. Waste, nobody wants to hear about how they're wasting time. So hold it for that. A lean system pursues a common vision. So if you're the leader and you don't have a picture of the future that you want to take the organization to, then you need to create your vision. Lean systems challenge the team to lead the change. So we want ideas for change to bubble up from the top. Yes, we're also going to have some strategic change from the top down, but we want everybody in the organization to lead this change and make the organization better. A lean system solves problems at the source of those problems. So we're not going to take the problem up to the conference room and try to sort it out with the references. We're going to go, we're going to see, and we're going to find out what's causing the problem, and we're going to solve it. A lean system learns and improves continuously, and it respects and serves people. How do you measure these kinds of things? That's one of the bigger challenges for convincing people that it's not just a set of tools to make the organization more efficient. So lean is much deeper, much broader, much more comprehensive than any of that. But these types of things that are often very hard to measure are the things that get the results that we do want to measure. So keep that in mind. Next up, we're going to talk about the Toyota Way. So stay tuned. I think there's going to be some reading on that instead of just videos. I hope I don't kill anybody with all these videos.